You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
All right. So I'm just sitting on top of my bolster. You can sit however you like. You can kneel across your bolster as well if you like, but just so that you are aware of where your pelvis is tilting. So just notice whether the pelvis tilts forward or whether you tilt the pelvis back and you get this gentle arch through the spine. And just kind of feel that place where it feels the most comfortable, so that then the spine can start to feel a little bit more upright and straight. And just roll the shoulders up and down. Just let go of your day. Breathing in, lifting them all the way up to the ears, and breathing out, letting them go down. And then just flip the palms, take the palms up, face up to the sky. Soften gently into the fingers and the thumbs, and just feel the wrists relax. The elbows become heavier, and the shoulder blades soften. And you can choose to close the eyes or take a soft gaze. And as you start to become more present with your breath, you become more present with yourself in your surroundings, how you are sitting, how you are feeling. Let go of any distractions that might be pulling you away, external sounds, external thoughts. Always just bringing yourself into this time for you and you only. And in the month of August, we are tapping into the 8 limbs of yoga from the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And this week, we'll just start to focus on the Yamas, the first limb. The Yamas are the external disciplines or the moral code of conduct or guidelines to live our lives by on and off the mat. And this particular yama we're going to be looking at is Asteya, which is the non-stealing. And, you know, Asteya, the Sanskrit word for not stealing, includes the physical act of taking, as well as the intention to take what is not rightfully ours to take. And taking what is not freely offered has so many different connotations. And the more delicate layers of Asteya may not be so obvious. Asteya covers all the ways that we can steal from others and the planet, including words, time, ideas, and behaviours. But it also covers the action of stealing from yourself. So things, you know, stealing time, stealing behaviours. And when you take from one another, you are unwittingly subtracting something from yourself. Comparison is the thief of joy. So we don't need to compare ourselves to anybody else, but we also don't need to compare ourselves to yesterday or last week or last month. We come to the mat as we are on that day. And particularly in a Yin Yoga practice, we don't want to steal ourself during our practice and have expectation. So the opposite of Asteya, or the opposite of Steya, is generosity, caretaking, and trust. So thinking of those three words: generosity, caretaking, and trust, and bringing that into your practice today. If you wish to, you can move from your seat as we take our Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing, using the right hand, gently placing the two fingers up towards the third eye, gently between the eyebrows. Using the right thumb to cross over to the right nostril, and the right index finger to cross over to the left nostril, so opening and closing. Breathing in through both nostrils. And exhaling through both. Closing the right off with the thumb, inhaling left. Closing left, moment of pause, exhale out of the right as you release the thumb. Moment of nothingness before you take that breath in through the right nostril. Moment of fullness as you swap from thumb to index finger, releasing the left, breathing out. So hopefully that's a nice rhythm, breathing in left. Momentary pause, opening right, closing left, exhaling. Momentary pause, breathing in right. The fullness of retention, swapping the thumb, releasing index finger, exhaling. So just continuing that pace of breath if it feels comfortable to do so. Breathing in left, small retention, exhaling right. Breathing in right. Momentary hold, exhaling left. And just continue as I give you silence. Taking one last full complete round, left inhale, exhale right, breathing in right, exhaling left. And then once you've completed that round and exhaled fully on the left, releasing the hand and just breathing normally through both, noticing how that pranayama was for you, the alternate channels working together, not stealing from one another, completely balanced, completely equal in to out. And now both channels of the nostrils breathing normally together, equally through left and right. And just gently move the fingers, move the wrists. Let's get some movement back into the body. Circling shoulders, just moving head and neck, moving spine, circling a few cats and cows. And then releasing your legs. Let's come to full pranam, which is a full prone posture. So you can bring yourself all the way down onto the belly, and you can rest the head onto the hands here, or you can place the hands out in front of you and rest the forehead down onto the mat. So it depends how comfortable you want to be here, whether the hand is supporting the head a little bit, or you want to just feel the arms out in front. Take the feet just a little bit wider, and then just rest. Full prone position. And as we start to come into this very first posture, notice here if you're taking any tension. Try to relax the entire body from fingers to toes. I'm going to probably guarantee that the buttocks are actually holding tension. They naturally grip. Try to relax the belly, the hips, and the buttocks all together. Almost feel that the body starts to spread itself out to the wider edges of the mat. The belly, the pelvis, the rib cage, the shoulders, and the thighs. Take a deep breath in, bring the palms back to the corners of your mat. Press into the tops of the feet, lightly engage the glutes, and just press up nice and lightly into a seal. So we don't have to force this at all. We do not have to come too high. Try to keep the ears away from the shoulders, dropping through the pubic bone. So really kind of imagine that the pubic bone becomes heavier and heavier, and it's kind of melting itself downwards. And the pelvis spreads out nice and heavy too. So we're trying to get straight arms here if you can, and pushing away from the mat. Nice and slowly, widen the elbows and lower the body down. Bring the head to the hands, big toes touch, heels fall out, and just sway those hips from side to side. Make sure the legs are nice and relaxed, and gently place the hands underneath the shoulders and just push back into your tabletop position. So find your neutral tabletop, and then from there, find a nice little few rounds of cat and cow just to mobilize through the spine. So through the practice today, we have some flexions, forward folds, we have some rotations, we have some twists, and we have a back bend. So we're going to come into our first posture for 3-minute hold, which is our heart pose. So reaching the fingertips forward, keeping the hips nice and high above the knees and melting the chest down. You can rest the head on the chin or the forehead or on a block. Navel is pulling gently in towards the spine. Slow down the breath and really be present here with your thoughts, only thinking about the posture and your range of motion, how everything is feeling. Sense everything from the fingertips to the toes. A deep breath in, lift the head, and then just bring the elbows back nice and slowly so that you come out of the posture nice and gently, keeping down on the forearms here. So we're taking like a nice little low tabletop. Notice how the shoulders feel here. Drop the shoulder blades together. You're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together as you drop the chest, and then press through the forearms, widening across the back, broadening the shoulder blades apart. That's it. Nice. Good. Dropping shoulder blades together. Ooh, I can definitely feel that. And then pushing away, broadening shoulders. Nice. Nice and slowly just soften hips back towards the heels and release the hands back towards the feet. Melt the chest over so that you can then really feel those shoulders rounding over the knees, supporting the head on a block or on the mat. And here in this recovery posture, you can gently circle the shoulders. Notice, as you come out of that heart pose, that melting heart pose, where was the target areas? And then bring yourself forward, placing the palms down, come back into tabletop. Twisted tabletop coming up, lifting up the left arm, threading it through and under for your threading the needle. Again, keeping hips nice and high above the knees. Reaching the right arm forward if it feels comfortable. Oh, promise me, Mike. So just shift the body forward a little bit. That's it. Yeah, there you go. You might feel just a touch different. You don't want to be too far back here or too far forward, but bringing the hips nicely in line with the knee. That's it. And just notice here, what's happening to the feet? Are the feet tucked? Are the feet curling in? Try to press down through the tops of the feet, pressing into the shins, rolling open the right rib cage, and the head gently looks underneath the armpit. Got my ponytail sticking in my face. And if you like, for the last minute, you might open up that hand into a bind so the hand can then come to the left hip or the left thigh, and then you start to press that arm up a little bit, getting deeper rotation through the rib cage, opening up through the side body, looking along towards that left palm. I'm feeling this here down, on the lats. Notice where you feel it. There's a lot going on in this posture. Slow and steady breaths. Keep the focus present. Just a few more breaths here. If you took the bind, it's always a little bit more challenging. Open, open, open. Oh, nice big stretch. Bring the right arm back. And then lifting up, left arm opens, opens, opens to the sky. And place left palm down. I'm going to scoot around to the other side so that I can see. And then right arm reaches up. Press the back of the hand away and then thread it through and under. Keep those hips nice and high above the knees. That's it. Lovely. Reaching left arm forward if it feels comfortable for the arm. And start to feel that openness from armpit, shoulder, rib cage, waist. Try and relax the ear and the temple down onto the mat. We're here for about 1.5 minutes before we go and take the bind. Slow inhales and exhales again. Just breathing normally through both nostrils. And then keeping that left arm where it is or reaching it back behind you. The back of the hand comes towards your right hip and your fingers might wrap around by that right thigh. Yes, exactly there. And then you give the leverage. You've got the leverage then to open up just a little bit more, that top shoulder. Close the eyes, relax the facial expression. And work with the side body, this lateral stretching here. Pressing into the arches and the shins. Sit bones are high. rib cage rolling upwards. And releasing left hand, placing it by the face so that you can press into the hand. Lifting up right arm now, big open stretch. Press the back of the hand away and then bring it down. Woo. Let's come off of the wrists, off of the shoulders for a moment. Back to kneeling. Let those shoulders drop and become heavy. And then give them a little circle, squeeze the body, reach the fingers back around you, give yourself a big hug, roll forward. Roll up, swap the arms, bring the other arm in front, cross at the elbow. Maybe you take hold of the shoulder blades behind you and then gently curl the spine, dropping those elbows down towards the thighs. And roll it up. Release the arms. Just give them a little circle. How are the shoulders feeling? Good. Okay, child's pose now. You can use a bolster if you like for child's pose. If you've got one handy, that's always quite nice. You can place the bolster there, take the knees nice and wide, and then just release from the pelvis. So again, that pelvic tilt, drop the pelvis forward so that the full body comes over the pelvis and of course over the bolster. You don't need to have the bolster there, and you can drop into that child's pose as much as you like. And then turning onto the cheek of the left or the right, and the hands can come in front of you and interlace the fingers around the front of the bolster, or they might be around the back and just gently hugging. But I want you to try and let the shoulders relax here. So again, we're not taking any tension into those shoulder joints. Just works them doubly hard in the seal, the melting heart, and you're threading the needle. So really giving into the weight of your body, being held up by the bolster, filling the space. Noticing tightness, tension, gripping, relaxing buttocks, softening the whole area of the pelvis. Relaxing the belly and the chest. Gently breathing in, lifting the head and turning to the opposite cheek so that you get that little neck stretch in the opposite side. We're here for just a few more breaths. Give in deeper, release more. Breathing in, lifting the head, bringing the head back in through the center, and then bringing the hands either side to gently press yourself up. Start to drop the chin towards the chest, pull the navel back towards the spine, and roll up steady, steady, steady. No rush, just come back up to tadpole. So big toes are touching, knees are nice and wide, and then you just feel that the spine starts to lengthen up, relaxing shoulders. Notice how you feel when you come out of that hold in child's pose. And then let's slide the bolster over to the left side of your mat. Spin yourself around and gently roll down. Bring the knees in towards the chest and just release through the hips, circling the knees out to the side. And just extend the legs one at a time to release the knees. So we've been on the knees a bit in melting heart, threading the needle, and child's pose. So just stretch out the back of the knees one leg at a time. Try to think about the heel being in line with the hip. It's not too far forward, close to you, or too far away. And then both together, extend them up. Bring the toes back, flexing into the feet. Big stretch through the soles of the feet. Spread the toes. Little toe goes out. Big toe comes in. Oh, feel the stretch. And then start to rotate through the ankles. Big release through the ankle joints and the toe joints. Pointing and flexing. And give the legs a shake. Shake, 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 shake. All the way from the little toe right down to the hip. Okay, so crossing the legs at the thigh, eagle legs. So we cross over, and then if you like, you can double wrap the foot behind the other. Okay, that's it. So you might just have one crossover there. Now we're going to go over into a twist. So what I'd say is just lift the hip up and take it over to the right side of your mat. And you might need the block or a bolster here just to rest that knee on. And then we open up the arms and we try and get the shoulders nice and flat. So we're trying to drop that right knee across towards the block or the bolster. That's it. Perfect. Yeah. Now pulling down this right shoulder. That's it. And you can take the gaze over to your right palm if you want a neck stretch as well. So we're in a big old S bend really through the spine. Big rotational twist here. So try to relax the legs, relax the ankles and the toes. Notice if you're gripping into the outer hip, the glutes, also the buttocks and the sphincter there, and soften through the spine. with as minimal effort and too much movement as possible, we're going to just release the feet. Try to keep the right leg where it is, and that means then that you can release the underneath left leg, and that drops down towards the mat. You're going to take your right hand and see if it reaches towards your right foot, catching that cat's tail. So your left leg is still over the bolster or the block, left arm still out to the side. And you're going to give that heel a little pull in towards the buttock. So you might feel that into the left hip flexor, left quad, left knee, deeper into the spine, pulling that right shoulder blade down. And if you like, if you've got that bolster there, you can make sure that your top leg is nicely over the bolster or supported by the block. Yeah, that's it. So again, blocks and bolsters fill space. Notice how the twist changed a little bit from the twisted roots to the cat's tail. Chest is nice and square to the sky, shoulder blades nice and flat. Slow and steady breath. Nice and slowly let go of the hand. Release the underneath leg nice and straight. And then gently roll back onto your back and release the right leg all the way into Shavasana. So, letting everything soften out. And then gently taking your bolster or your block, flipping it over to the other side. Crossing over left thigh over the right, trying to get the knees in line with the chest. And then maybe that double wrap, those eagle legs. Lift the hips up and over to the left so that you can then drop that left knee on top of the bolster. Open out the chest, pull the left shoulder down, and the arms might be out to the side of you or out at shoulder height. And again, choosing to look towards the left palm is going to deepen that stretch in the spine and the neck. Noticing the twist might change on the opposite side for you. Notice any tension areas again. Let go of the tightness with your exhale breath. Soften glutes particularly. Be nice and kind. Taking care of your spine. Remember that caretaking. Be generous with the posture and trust yourself. Not stealing anything from yourself. Really feeling into the sensations and experiences of the posture, being all kind of wound and bound. And then again, gently releasing the feet from one another, keeping that left thigh over the top of the block or the bolster, reaching left hand down this time to take hold of right foot. Opening chest to the sky. That's it. Nice. And to deepen this posture, you think about the knee being in line with the hip. Now, sometimes that's not always possible. And you, again, it depends what the knee tension is like as to how much you pull the heel towards the buttock. So we're lengthening the knee down the mat, away from us, releasing into that right hip flexor, right thigh. Just for the last minute or so of this side. Remaining present with sensations, what comes up for you with this one. Where are the target areas? And gently let go of the hand with the foot. That leg then extends slowly, slowly, slowly from the knee all the way along the mat. And then gently rolling back onto the mat, bringing the hips back underneath you, extending left leg. Woo! Didn't realize those twists were going to be so challenging. Ooh, draw the knees in nice and slowly. Keep the belly free of the thighs. So take the knees nice and wide. Drop the thighs down the outer rib cage. Just rock left and right. And then, if you like, circle into the hips. Bring the knees together and circle the knees one way, massaging through the spine. And circle the other. Good. And then again, just one leg at a time, extends up, releasing into the knee. So you'll notice that there is actually quite a bit into the knee joints through this practice. And the next posture comes into that one as well. So take your time from here to roll over to one side. Gently press yourself up. Last posture before we come into Shavasana really is hero with the bolster behind you. And hero or saddle it's called. So I'm going to give you the option. You can do it with both legs at the same time, which means that you get a good 5-minute hold there, or you do a single leg, and that will be a 2.5-minute hold on each leg. Are you good with double? Okay. So just lift up, roll the calves out of the way of the thighs, drop the buttocks down, make sure the bolster's just behind you, bring the knees together and gently, gently, gently lower yourself back down onto the bolster. So this is our back bend now. And we're lengthening out through from the knees to the thighs, into the hip flexors, psoas, intercostal abdominals, And your arms can be by the side of you, by the side of your feet if you like, or deeper intensity is lifting them up above the head. So they might just rest on the bolster behind you or interlace them underneath the head. That's going to be quite deep into the chest and the armpits and shoulders. So make sure that you're comfortable here and you haven't gone too far too soon. We are here for a number of minutes. This is our peak pose. I'll let you know when it's time to change legs if you're doing single legs as well. If you had the single leg option, gently flip the palms down, push yourself up through the elbows, looking along the body, pressing yourself up, and then roll over to one cheek to swap to the other side. Good. And then resting back. Only go as far as is comfortable. If you can't quite reach the bolster, you can rest on the elbows. That's going to be a little bit higher. You can stack the bolster up with blocks, make it a little bit higher as well, or supporting the head with a block. Noticing differences if you chose the half saddle, one leg extended, one leg bent, noticing from right to left. Giving into gravity. Feel heavy with the prop underneath your spine. Taking a deep breath in, flipping the palms, pressing through the palms and elbows, looking along the body. And gently press yourself up. Nice and slowly pull navel into spine. Take your time to come up and just release forward. So if you've got that single leg option, then you're going to need to roll over onto one hip. And let's extend those legs out in front of us. Whoa. Ooh, my knee joints. Good. Give the legs a shake out in front. Bend the knees. Windscreen wiper. And take the bolster. Bring it around by the side of you and underneath the knees. Make sure the legs are nice and wide. We're coming into Shavasana, so make yourself comfortable and warm here using eye pillows, blankets as you need to. And just soften back. Wiggle the pelvis a little bit left and right. Make sure that you're starting to spread the pelvis out. Belly drops down nice and heavy. Spine drops down nice and heavy. Make sure the whole of the spine can be felt. Lift up and spread the shoulder blades out and take the arms wide. Give the feet a little stretch on top of the bolster. Massage into the toes, the ankles, and the soles of the feet there as you rotate, flexing and pointing. Big stretch of the fingers, clenching and releasing into the fists, letting the arms gently drop down and letting the feet drop down. Move the head left and right on the back of the skull. Release tension in the neck. And then settle in for relaxation in Shavasana. And as you lie here, just being completely aware of how you feel after the practice, noticing any of the areas of the body, particularly targeting into the joints and connective tissue. Those are the areas that we really focus on, we really target in yin postures as we hold them. We tend not to work towards the larger muscle groups. We try and relax those. Non-engagement, non-contracting. So notice now any of the joints of the body which have really been, working for you today. And try to take that exhale breath there. The pranayama is also one of the 8 limbs of yoga. It guides us through our practice. Breathing in and out, slow and steady, equally left and right nostrils. Feeling equal on left and right sides of the body and left and right hemispheres of the brain. The yin and the yang. Taking a deeper breath in and just exhale out of the mouth, sigh it out, releasing any remaining tension. Doing that once more, breathing in through the nose and just exhale, big long sigh out. Begin to wiggle fingers, move wrists, wiggle toes, move ankles, stretching the right leg up and away, flexing, pointing the right foot, drop it down, stretching left leg away, flexing, pointing, and just gently drop it down. Lift the arms up above the head. Give yourself a big stretch as you interlace the fingers, pressing back through the palms. And then introduce the legs. So stretch both legs away. And gently release the hands back by the hips. Place the right foot on top of the bolster, left foot on top of the bolster. Drop the knees together. Take a moment just to stay there in that constructive rest pose. Draw knees in and gently circle, massage. Do what feels good here as you push the bolster away. Roll over to one side. Pause there just for a moment. Take a deep breath in. Deep sighing breath out into the earth. And then gently press into the palm and bring yourself back up nice and slowly into your seated posture. Again, you can sit on your bolsters, blocks. And as you sit nice and tall, bring the hands into Anjali Mudra at heart center. Just notice as you sit here, what parts of the body may have been worked again through the postures, particularly joints and connective tissue, but also parts of your mind as well may have been challenged. So not just the physical realm in Yin. It takes a lot of focus just to hold a posture for a number of minutes. And remember our theme of the 8 limbs of yoga, the external disciplines of the Yamas, working on Asteya, the non-stealing. And remember that we can work with the 8 limbs of yoga off the mat as well, taking that into our daily life, non-stealing of words, behaviours, and people's time, as well as the planet. Always thanking yourself, your body, your breath, and your mind. And I thank you. Namaste.